Double Dragon for the NES is a cornerstone of the beat-em-up genre, bringing the arcade experience to the home console with a mix of action, strategy, and nostalgia that still resonates with gamers today. In Double Dragon, you take on the role of Billy Lee, a martial artist on a mission to rescue his kidnapped girlfriend, Marion, from a gang called the Black Warriors. The gameplay is straightforward. You move through various stages, fighting off waves of enemies using punches, kicks, and a variety of special moves. As you defeat enemies, you gain experience points that unlock more advanced techniques, adding a layer of progression to the combat. One of the key differences from the arcade version is the absence of a simultaneous two-player mode in the story campaign. On the NES, the game is single-player only, which might be a letdown for those expecting the co-op experience. There is, however, a two-player versus mode where you can battle a friend, but it's a separate experience from the main game. The controls are generally responsive, though mastering the timing and combinations for special moves can be a bit tricky, especially when the action gets intense. The difficulty ramps up as you progress, with tougher enemies and more complex level designs, making for a challenging but rewarding experience. For an NES game, Double Dragon offers solid graphics. The character sprites are detailed and recognizable, though the animations can be a bit stiff. The environments, while somewhat repetitive, effectively convey the urban, gritty feel of the game's world. The color palette is limited, but the NES handles the game's visuals well given the hardware limitations. The soundtrack is one of the game's highlights. Composed by Kazunaka Yamane, the music is energetic and memorable, perfectly setting the tone for each stage. The sound effects, while simple, are satisfying and contribute to the overall immersion. Double Dragon is known for its challenging difficulty. The enemies become more aggressive and numerous as you progress, and the platforming sections can be particularly punishing due to the game's control limitations. There are no continues, so beating the game requires practice and perseverance. Despite its short length, the game has decent replay value. The difficulty alone might entice players to revisit it, and the Versus mode offers a fun, if limited, diversion for two players. Double Dragon on the NES is a must-play for fans of classic beat-em-ups and retro gaming enthusiasts. While it lacks the cooperative gameplay that made the arcade version so iconic, it still delivers a solid single-player experience with engaging combat, memorable music, and a challenging difficulty curve. For those willing to embrace its old-school design, Double Dragon offers a nostalgic trip back to the early days of the NES era. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, thank you for watching.